We've just chatted and there hasn't been any, hi, you're watching the whatever podcast.
Oh, yeah, we should do that.
44 and 1.
Well, that's what we'll use at the beginning.
The final.
Yeah.
You're on a podcast. Welcome.
Just watch us make with the jibber jabber.
I've got to put my cat in a box because she's got to go visit the vet. My partner's taking her out. Because at ex-feral, it is a mission to get them in the cat carrier. So talk amongst yourselves for a few minutes and I may or may not return with blood on my face. See you in a minute.
Thoughts and prayers.
Oh my goodness.
How are you? This is exciting.
This is so exciting to speak to you in person. Wow.
My goodness. Who knew it would be so hard to get this time thing sorted?
I had this weird idea for a plot for a novel, and I just can't progress any further than that. But I'm like, that would make an excellent plot. I would read the hell out of that book.
I would totally read that. That would be amazing because there's so many avenues you could take that in. One of them could be doing nefarious things during their time.
Absolutely. So yeah, interesting.
You need to make this happen.
Right, hang on. Right, write novel. Write novel. It's next weekend. It's on.
Yeah.
It's in
the to-do list right after a vacuum and get the cat in the carrier and
write a novel. Yeah. So that's my genius idea, which can now go on this podcast and someone else can pinch it. Copyright.
We'll make sure we'll edit it out so no one steals your fantastic idea.
It's like you could do a bleep. I have this fantastic idea for a book. It's bleep, beep, beep, beep. And then have you oh my God, that's amazing.
We'll do exactly that. We'll play some happy music while you're talking, and then my face will just be oh my God.
Have elevator music. Elevator music, I think, would be ideal.
Perfection.
Yeah. Now it's 10 p.m. here and on a Wednesday night, which is totally fine.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, I don't care. No, that's fine. I'm usually up late anyway, so it's fine.
I'm an early to bed. My husband makes fun of me constantly. As it starts to creep closer to 10 o'clock, I start getting the dogs ready, and he's like, it's still light outside.
Yeah, no, it's no, my husband's the early to bed, and because he gets up early for work, and I'm like, I'll just start work at 9:30. It's fine. Totally fine.
But I still have good intentions to wake up earlier than I do. I just enjoy
sleeping.
Yeah. And when I get up and the bed's warm and my dogs are there, my husband usually falls asleep on the sofa. So when I wake up, it's just me and the dogs. I'm they're comfy and they give me that look stay. I'm like, okay.
Have you ever been coming out of general anesthetic and you're like, oh, that's a great sleep. Can I just go back? Because I have. And I'm thinking this could be a bad thing.
Probably, yeah. It's like in cartoons when they knock you with the frying pan to put you out for a couple of days.
Oh man, but you're coming through in recovery and you're and the person's there trying to wake you up and you're like, no, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes.
Where's your snooze button?
Oh, sorry about that.
So
the cat's sorted.
Got any scars?
Yeah. No, thankfully. We tried it yesterday, but he's catch my breath. Fucking hell.
Are you out of wrestling a cat?
Half, and also I ran up the stairs to come back. So it's a bit of both. So we cornered her in the catio and threw a blanket over her and bundled her up in it and just threw her in the cat carrier. Because we tried it yesterday, but she caught on to what we were doing. And my partner has a big cut up her arm because the cat sliced her open. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Was yesterday a practice run to make sure you could do it today? Or?
No, it was supposed to be a vet visit yesterday. They had 2 to go. So we managed to get one of them in the carrier, and Hester caught on to what was going on because of the other cat. She was like, hang on, no, I'm not having this. Because they're ex-feral, they're really highly attuned to shenanigans, and they twig straight away, shit's going down.
I do. I used to have 2 cats. I'm putting flea drops on one, and then the other one would just bolt.
Yeah.
because they could smell it or something, and you're like, oh,
Oh, it
come
could
back.
be like a marathon trying to catch them and put it on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
My dogs are like that with baths. They will get in the car together. They
With
will take their
maths?
pills.
Hang
With
on.
baths.
Oh,
A bath,
right,
yeah. As soon as
right.
I mean, it's not like they go one at a time into the bath, and so as soon as one of them is in there, it's like a warning sign. I can't find the other one, but they're big, so they can't really hide. My mom has a tiny dog, so she hides into the dining room, so no one can reach her, and she just stays there.
Oh. I'm just imagining Zool and Goza having lessons about maths.
Yeah.
Making
Right,
sure
boys,
you
it's
get.
algebra today.
I think Zool would nail it. Zool would totally nail it. I think Gozer is more of like the art type. He would be, yeah. He's definitely more creative.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a totally. It's a great degree. Liberal arts degree is fantastic. You can go very far.
Yeah, I think
It
he would
does. It
nail it.
teaches you thinking skills. It's going to go well, really well.
He'll just like poo everywhere if it doesn't go his way. That'll be his art, right? Like, wasn't there an artist once who I think she did a whole series with what she called, I think they were called piss flowers, where she peed in the snow and then took casts of the.
Oh wow!
I really hope I'm not making that up, but I think I remember.
There is.
It was a fever dream that you had once.
My other consciousness.
No, there is a patient we got told about once on my degree who she basically would just throw feces all over a wall. She was institutionalized, and it was about the importance of understanding the person you're working with and not just leaving them to rot, basically, and try and connect with them. And because she was mostly nonverbal, she couldn't communicate what she wanted. So her room was always covered in shit all up the walls. And then somebody one day just looked into it and said, oh, she used to be an artist. And then they gave her paints and brushes and all that stuff. And then there was no more shit on the walls.
Good for that person for figuring it out.
Yeah. And that's
was there no discernible was she like a Jackson Pollock? Like, was there no discernible pattern?
I have no idea.
To the shit?
There was no photos.
I guess that style would depend on what was being fed to them at the time, whether they'd go full Jackson Pollock or I don't know.
Yes.
That's true. Or if it would be more like, if it was sturdy enough, it could be like a
charcoal painting.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, but I was just stuck with like
if it was really fibrous, you could.
And if you'd had corn the night before, then
get some color
hours. I don't know, something gross.
All right, we're in Sardi. It's already going downhill. Degenerated.
I'm sure there's a diverticulitis joke in there too, but you know.
Isn't there always?
Yes.
The day isn't complete without one.
Oh, man.
Okay, I'm putting that on my list too. Write novel, make another diverticulitis joke.
Yes.
Got it.
The day isn't complete.
Yeah.
Thanks for it's actually the end of the day, so I want to thank you for doing it now.
Just in the nick of time, nailed it. My day's just starting, so the pressure is off.
I'm halfway through mine, so this is fantastic.
At least we're all on the same day.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It is kind of weird that we could, like, with modern technology, we could actually be in different days having a Zoom call. That's bats to me.
I would do. And like, I guess I watch too much sci-fi because in my head, I'm like, oh, Odette's in the future. She can tell us what's happening.
It's true.
Warn us, what's coming?
Sun's going to come up.
That's a relief.
A bit later. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's all I got. That's all I've got.
I don't need to pray to Ra today then.
Yeah. Thank you, Ra.
Yeah.
Honestly, I went to the Roman villa at is it Chedworth?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, you're in that continent. Come on.
Yeah. I'm on the island. If you see Chester on the end of everything, it means fort.
Okay. Yes, no, I've seen that on what's that show? The last Viking? No, what's it called?
Oh,
The Last Kingdom.
Last
The Last
Kingdom, yeah.
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 Anyway.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, go on. Sorry.
I was just going to say about the Roman villa in Tedworth, and I'm sure they're the same elsewhere too. But they had like a water shrine this is where they worshipped water, and I'm like, that makes so much more sense to me than worshipping just about worshipping water, worshipping the earth, worshipping the sun. I'm like, well, this is what gives us all life. So that makes so much sense to me.
Yeah.
Than other stuff that's been told since.
Yeah, he cares about who you're having sex with. Don't do it.
Water doesn't care.
Yeah.
The sun will shine on you no matter who you're having sex with, right? Mm-hmm.
Exactly. One of my mates is an archaeologist. Like, she did a postgrad in Canada, I think in Saskatoon. And she says that archaeologists, like, they've also got a really rich history with all the Indian tribes and all their heritage there with the First Nations. But she says, as an archaeologist, it is so boring because it's just arrowhead, 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 arrowhead. Like, because nothing else survives, So it's just
being in Saskatoon to begin with is not the most picturesque place to be. So
yeah.
She got the short end of the stick on that one.
Yeah, she was descended from Ukrainian and German farmers. So yeah, hence Saskatoon with all the farmland.
Yeah, she would have felt right at home. The joke about Saskatoon is that it's so flat you can watch your dog run away for 3 days.
Yeah. It's true.
I have to find this. What is it? I'll look it up after. Saskatoon.
Yeah, Saskatoon.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's because GVizzle trained her dogs in maths, apparently. So, what are you expecting?
True.
If I can do that, what can't I do?
Exactly. But they don't like it. That's the important thing. They don't like the maths. That's what we
Yes.
No, they'd rather just
stop. Yeah, you should probably stop.
Yeah. Just let them be themselves. Tyrant.
Let dogs be dogs. Jeez, come on.
What, do you think
they identify as cats?
Well, that's funny because my cat that we just shipped off to the vet identifies as a dog. So
when we first brought Zool home, I think she was fostered with a bunch of cats because she had very cat moves and tendencies, and she would jump like a cat. It took a solid few months before she started acting like a dog.
Wow. Because Esther's like the opposite. She I think I seen that video the other day. So she interacts with me like a dog, so that she wants me to stroke her, so she'll pace up and down next to me, and I have to scratch her. And she's just nudging me with her face, and she's just really active and running around. And she just has puppy dog energy.
That's adorable.
Yeah, I love her.
I love cats that act like dogs. My sister has a cat that loves water, and if you turn on the tap in the sink, will just get in there. And
amazing!
That's unusual.
Yeah, it's great.
Cute.
And they'll just have such individual personalities as well. Just all the mammals. It's amazing. Yeah.
They do. People who say, animals don't have souls. It's like bullshit. Have you met animals? Come on.
Yeah, totally. And I'm even noticing, because on my daily walk, I walk past a field full of sheep and lambs, and just the way they play together. I face planted the other day because I was trying to record a bunch of lambs and I fell over. But they were running past me in a big herd of 8 lambs just charging around the field. Just like a big sort of raiding party or something.
That's adorable.
Yeah,
a raiding party. What a negative place to go.
It's the northeast.
Vikings.
Yeah.
There's someone on TikTok called World's Most Boring. I don't know if you follow him, but he's in the west of Ireland, and he's a sheep farmer, and so funny and great, and fully recommend. Not boring.
World's Most Boring.
World's Most Boring. Go find them. They're great.
Now I've got to take notes.
Yeah.
Yes. If I have
we
to,
all
you
have homework now.
There is a farmer I follow on there. She lives opposite side of England to me, but she's up near the Scottish border, and she has some cows and all that stuff on her farm, and she works at other farms. And she used to be a vegan, which makes it really interesting because she puts like extra care and attention into looking after the animals and give them a good quality of life, but also that there is an industry behind it. And yeah, I don't know. I can't remember her thing though.
There's one I follow called The Useless Farm.
Yes.
Yes. Karen.
Karen.
Michael.
Yes.
Michael.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. Like,
Yeah.
and her reflexes, the way she just like gets.
She did a video the other day where she put on like that blonde wig, and Karen couldn't work it out. She was like, "What are you?
Do I pick?"
Yeah. Oh, you're the bitch. I'm getting you.
You can't fool me.
So good. Love Useless Farm.
Yeah. Michael is my favorite. I think I feel like it sometimes.
Like Karen, she put that little crocheted hat on top of Karen's head. But she just like nestled in. So
my favorite is that Karen has a Live, Laugh, Love poster in her little shed. Great.
Have you seen the guy who built he built like a living room for his dog?
Yes.
It's got like a little welcome mat and there's a Play Dog magazine in the corner. I can't let my dogs watch TikTok with me because then they're going to be jealous of this.
Yeah, they're going to demand things.
My house is a pile of shit compared to that dog's house.
Right?
Yes.
The dog has better furnishings, better electronics.
Yes. My God, I think that dog has a smaller mortgage too. Jesus Christ.
He's a kept dog. He's not paying for anything.
That's what it is. Sugar puppies or something. What is it?
A bone daddy. Oh, that sounds a bit bad.
That sounds real. That sounds not appropriate at all.
No.
When I first joined TikTok, I had 2 offers of sugar daddy dumb. One guy, because I thought, yeah, it was gross. But one guy, I thought like, oh, let's see what this is all about. And he offered me $300 a month.
Is that it?
To exist? Yeah. To do what?
I had to be, apparently, I wish I still had the screenshots. I had to be loyal. And then it went on like, from the moment he was like, you'll hang out. He doesn't even know where I live. We'll hang out. You have to be loyal to me. And then after loyal to me, it went on this like misogynistic tirade of like, I'm sick of sugar babies not being loyal and just using me for the money. And but it's like, what do you think that arrangement is about? Like, it's not.
Yeah. That is delusional. Oh my God.
Yeah. And $300, I mean, I'm 47, so like maybe that's what the going rate is for a middle-aged sugar baby. I don't know.
What's that whole thing with why don't these women that I have to pay to be with me, why don't they want to be with me without money? It's like,
because the other thing is like most sugar daddies understand the relationship there. They know that they're buying company and they know what is afoot. They know that the woman isn't interested. So, like, most of them seem to understand that. But then I
blame Hollywood. I blame, like, Pretty Woman specifically. Every guy thinks he's Richard Gere and he's looking for his Julia Roberts.
Richard Gere doesn't have to pay people for company.
Well, he did. He paid Vivian whatever $3,000 or. But yeah, every guy thinks like if I maybe it will start off as a financial arrangement, but then she'll see what a wonderful individual I am. Jesus. And fall head over heels in love and this woman who's a third my age will no longer require my paycheck.
It is so delusional. As a man, I feel very frustrated by them.
I just need to figure out how to get someone to pay me money for just like existing and doing literally nothing for them, like ignoring them. I need an ignoring kink. Pay me money and I'll not a peep. Nothing.
It's gotta be out there somewhere.
Yeah. Right.
It's like the mob when they used to like embezzle businesses for protection money. Like you're protecting them against me. So and maybe you just need to find someone who's got a lot of money, be super, super annoying and be like, you know how to make all this go away?
One of my friends, that was her tactic in nightclubs, would be to be so annoying to a man to get like if she irritates him enough, they'll buy her a drink to fuck off.
That's more homework. Be super annoying is on my
Yeah.
list.
It works. She got very
Practically
drunk
already
every night.
done.
And how much
Done.
fun would that be? That would be so much fun to do. More than like trying to like, hey, like
Yeah.
I know.
It's like,
I
hello.
wouldn't even know how to do that.
Hello. You want me to stop?
I'm not
Do
touching you.
you want
I'm
me to
not
stop
touching
now?
you. I'm
Yeah.
not touching you.
Yeah. Exactly. Are we
That's
there
genius.
yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
That's genius. She should write a book. She should write a book. She used to teach classes on that.
She's
How to
a
be annoying.
psychiatric nurse, so
Oh,
she should write a book on everything.
she's just learning everything from her patients. So like, oh,
Yeah.
add that to my list.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
One of her patients, right? She texts me every 3 days with like my patient disclosed this to me the other day. The last one was a guy made out with a dog. Yeah, she had to report it to the relative service, the services involved.
How did this disclose? Was it just like, how are you this morning, Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
With the dog. Like it was just that casual?
Yeah. He's like, so she has to go see people in their homes and stuff. And he was like, well, I can't remember what the family member was. We'll say uncle, for example. I made out with this dog the other day. And then she has to then go off and, yeah.
I'm
At
sorry.
what point have you heard it all?
Never. I still get shocked after working with sex offenders. I'm still surprised by what I hear.
Now I'm frightened that my dog will accidentally lick me on the mouth and I'm going to go to prison.
No, that's all right. Don't worry. This guy was basically sexually assaulting a dog. Like,
Okay.
yeah. And this stuff too. So, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's more than first base. That's
Yeah, he
figuring
made
that
out. That's what we say in England. Making out with somebody is everything but sex, really.
Oh, not in Canada. Making out is just kissing.
Oh,
Maybe some
Same.
over the top plus stuff, but
Same
mostly.
here. Oh, wow.
I mean, I hope it is, because otherwise I've been getting the complete wrong end of the stick.
Oh my gosh.
I'm HR
You've been asking girls if they want to make out and then they're coming away from the experience like,
Yeah.
not sure.
Yeah.
Not only did he work with sex offenders, but I am one too.
Well, it takes one to know one.
Know thine enemy, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like a turncoat, Put over to the other side.
You're like one of those preachy ex-smokers.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm walking behind people in the street, like when they're smoking, walking down the street, and they're not supposed to be, just going. That's me. I'm that bitch.
The smoke is kind of one of the good ones to do. My mum used to have this punishment where if she thought I was acting up, I'd have to sit in the car with her while she smoked a cigarette and she shut all the windows.
That's considered child abuse.
Yeah.
My dad used to always smoke with he'd crack the window like that much. And so for some reason, I always ended up sitting behind my dad, but he would flick his cigarette out the window. So it was always like ashes.
No.
It would just come out again.
Because there was no air conditioning, right?
Yeah.
And you had to have your windows down because it was the 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a different time. No seatbelts, smoking in the car. We're lucky to be alive.
And the window, like rolling the windows up, just required brute strength that you just didn't develop until you're about 11, 12, it's really hard.
Yeah.
I had, up until 11 years ago, I had a car that still had those windows and a tape deck. And my niece, I was driving my niece around one day and she was like, it was like she got into a time machine. She was 10 at the time. And she picked up a cassette and she was like,
what is this?
What's this? I was like, well, in the olden days, so I had explained cassettes to her. And then we get out of the car. She was so sweet. She shut the door and the window was still open. She's like, oh, you have to turn the car on so I can open the window. And I was like, no, it's
Analogs.
Yeah. So then she looked at me like I was 37 at the time. She was 10. She looked at me like she felt bad for me. And then she was like, you know what's good about it is that you don't have to turn the car on to roll the window up. It's like, thanks, honey. Thank you. Thanks for trying to make me feel better.
That's amazing. So it is interesting though, like, because my sister's 9 years younger than me, but we've had completely different lives because we're on that cusp of like early 80s and she was born in the early 90s. And just even that, like everything is accelerating so much now that we've had completely different life experiences in our childhoods.
Yeah, like I remember having to leave the house. Like, do I have quarters for payphones? Do I know where payphones are? And then my niece has just always had access to a phone.
Yeah.
What? No, I'm sorry. Payphones in the 80s, you would phone, like in Australia anyway, you could pick it up, you could dial, it would ring at your house, it would connect for about half a second, and you would fit in as much as you can.
Yeah.
I'm outside, Coles, come get me now. And then Mum would come and get you, and you didn't have to pay anything.
That's amazing. No, ours you pay unless you did a collect call. So you'd have to call the operator to say, I'd like to make a collect call to this phone number. And then the person who was receiving it would have to pay, I think it was 65 cents. So instead of, because then you would say like, you're making a collect call, at the beep, say your name, and your name would be like, I'm at the mall, come get me. And then when they heard like, do you want to accept the charges from, I'm at the mall, come get me, you'd be like, no, thank you. And then grab the keys, the house. That was our sneaky way of getting around it.
I just think it's, go on.
No, you go.
I was gonna say it's just nice that you guys had mums that would pick you up. No, you can walk the 5 miles home. Fuck off. And then I have to walk 5 miles home. So.
Usually my mom would tell my sister to go get me, and then my sister would lecture me the whole way home.
To be fair, you're in a very small country. You could walk across it. Come on.
That's true.
Yeah. But still, it's so densely populated in areas. Some
you just
areas.
have to knock people out the way. That's what, what? Come on. Jeez.
Just stop it. Hitchhike
Get
it.
out of here.
You know everybody. You could just hop on the back of a sheep and go.
Yeah, I know the Queen.
So there's, apparently I thought, what would be great for when I turn 50, go and do the coast to coast walk in the UK, where basically you walk from one side to the other, and then people take your things from one pub to the next. All you do is walk from pub to pub across the country. I'm like, I can do that.
That's the world's
easy.
Largest pub crawl. That's amazing.
Yes. It's harder than you think because it's very mountainous. And one of the walks that people do is along the smallest bit with Hadrian's Wall, and it takes you about 9 days. So it's like
that bit.
Yeah.
Are there pubs
the
along
idea
the way?
of walking more than actually walking, probably.
Yeah. So basically, you at the end of every day, you go and stop off at a pub, maybe stay in a local campsite or at the pub if they've got rooms, and then you just basically drink it up and then stagger along the next day and carry on walking.
What's the mileage of that? How many kilometers is that entire?
I'll look it up.
4. He's looking up.
In kilometers, 135.
Oh, for fuck's sake! That's from here to the nearest capital city.
Yeah.
We do in Canada. They do this weekend to end breast cancer, and it's like a charity walk. And I think it's a 60-kilometer walk over a weekend. So you just do it over the weekend. So you're like just
basically flat.
Yeah, it's pretty flat. But and it's like I've never done it. I'm more of a I will pay you to do it. Like I will contribute financially, not physically. But like people like make signs and they get out on the street and like they convert because you're walking down residential streets, so they shut down parts of the city to do it. But like the support that they get from people, like people spend the entire weekend like sobbing because people are running out and we're like, thank you, my mom had breast cancer and like here's water and snacks and whatever for you. So it's quite emotional, but it's half of that, and they do it in 2 days. So
my question: 135 kilometers as the crow flies, or up and down the mountain?
As the crow flies.
Because how many actual kilometers would you be walking?
Exactly. Probably about 3 times that, because it's very hilly.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, Britain isn't very flat.
I might wait until you can do it by jetpack.
Yeah.
I thought we have those by now. I'm disappointed.
Say again?
Yeah.
I thought we'd have them by now. I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, but I think the asbestos trousers haven't caught up yet, because surely if you use a jetpack, your trousers are going to catch fire.
Oh.
Although I was watching America's Got Talent last night, they started their auditions, and one guy was singing a song and set himself on fire. So if you had fireproof gel,
Rammstein have been doing that for decades.
you just need fireproof gel. I mean, messy, sure, probably expensive, but if you can own a jetpack,
Yeah. Surely you could like design it so it sort of went out from your ass. I don't know.
yeah. And
then you'll pancake the nearest wall.
There was a movie, The Rocketeer, and they figured it out, and that was set in like the 50s or something.
I loved that movie. All those 80s cool movies, or that was not early 90s, I think maybe. They were awesome.
Mm.
The Rocketeer, when was that made? We have to leave and
I'm
rejoin it.
91. I'm guessing 1991 for The Rocketeer, but I'm probably...
Oh, let's have a look. It's...
Like I'm in quiz.
91. Yeah, 91.
Yes.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Oh.
Okay.
I won a quiz show.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So you guys celebrate, like both of you, because you're the Commonwealth, are you celebrating old Queenie's Platinum Jubilee this weekend?
Ours was last weekend.
No, that's wrong.
Queen's birthday weekend.
Yeah.
Ours is not this weekend. Hang on. No, it's not this weekend. It's coming. It's the weekend after. Is that right?
Oh, it's this weekend. It's tomorrow.
Oh, well, in Australia, it's the following weekend. So.
And in Canada, it was last weekend. We called it the May 24 weekend.
Maybe it's so that like she can travel, or one of her representatives now can travel.
It doesn't fall for us. It doesn't fall on the day. It's not like Canada Day, which is always July 1st. The May long weekend, the May 24 weekend, is always. I think it's the third weekend. The third weekend of May. It's the third weekend of May.
The what?
What did you refer to it?
We call it the May 24.
The May 24.
Yeah, typically, well, I don't know if this. I'm gonna make up some shit, and then I'll fact check later. But because it usually falls on and around the like late teens, early 20s, right? Like 19, 20, 21st of the month. And it's like the first kind of like celebration of the summer. So you celebrate by buying a 2-4 of beer or a case of 24 beers. We call our cases of beer 2-4s.
We call them slabs.
Slabs?
Slabs. Gonna go down to Bolo and get a slab.
Oh, we know what Bolo is now.
We do.
Bolo.
You know, the Botlo. Oh, Bolo.
No, Botlo.
Botlo. That's
Botlo.
it. Botlo.
Yeah.
There's also a Bolo, though, which is the bowling club, the Lawn Bowls Club. And there's lots of lawn bowls clubs here, and they all serve booze. They're great and have poker machines. Yeah.
I found out 2 days ago that over here, Bolo means to be muscly, working out at the gym, like a man, apparently.
We refer to bolo as that like tie that's like two-piece, like one long piece of leather with like something weird in the middle that like pulls it up. That's a bolo tie.
A woggle?
A bolo tie.
That little thing, is that called a woggle or something?
I don't know.
That's what they were in scouting, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, like the little leather circular thing.
Yeah, it's like the napkin ring that holds it together.
Yeah, that's a woggle.
Well, I think a lot of bolos are like, they usually have like something turquoise or like an eagle to make it.
Okay, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, no.
What's
Our bolo is better.
Yeah.
I don't know what the significance of it is. I think it's a lifestyle is what it is, because it's not like something you would just throw on with any old, like you wouldn't be in a workplace seeing a guy in like a snazzy suit and a bolo. Like usually it accompanies a denim shirt and cowboy boots.
Oh,
it's
dear.
a look.
You don't choose the bolo life. The bolo life chooses you.
Yeah.
Truer words.
Are you ever just tempted one day just to turn up to your mates or at work or something and just have a completely different aesthetic like that and just see if anybody comments?
I wear slightly odd clothes anyway, often. So people will just go, "Oh, yeah, this is the new one. Okay,
Yeah.
right, she's doing this now.
Yeah.
She's doing this now. Okay."
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, or maybe just go in costume or something. Wear something really Victorian. Get a
Yeah,
parasol.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
That would be good.
I have a parasol that I use regularly
That's amazing.
because it's sunny in Australia and you don't
Yeah.
want to get sunburned and
Yeah.
you can't smuck up your hair. So I like a parasol.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Does anybody know any other programs to use, or have they cornered the market like TikTok and YouTube?
I think
Yeah,
there's like
that's-
Microsoft Teams, but I don't know if you have to pay for that.
Then
And I don't
Bill
know if it's any
Gates, he will activate the 5G in my vaccine, and then I will be his slave.
I live in 5G vaccine denialism heartland.
Oh, no. Did they
We've-
try to elect ScoMo?
They did not, thankfully, but not exactly where I live. But in this region, there's a particular part which has got like the lowest vaccination rates in the country. This is
Oh.
before COVID, like just general vaccination is really low, and it's been a real struggle.
I would never leave the house.
But you know, when you go outside, you'll get exposed to chemtrails as well. So, you know. And I'm always like, I see this tiny, tiny bit of water vapor in the air, and I'm like, how much air is there? I'm not getting. That's not even coming anywhere near me. Even if even if it was something good, and I like, it's like, come on, bring it. It wouldn't come near me.
No,
So
it's true.
anyway.
I tell you, I feel like conspiracy theorists have given conspiracy theory a bad name, because there are some out there that make sense. I mean, you know, MK Ultra and stuff like that. You know, the whole of the British Empire.
And a bunch of true stuff has turned out to that was a conspiracy theory before it was confirmed to be true. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
But then you
So
get these nutters coming out, and then with their crazy ideas that have no substance.
But maybe
Yeah.
it's all part of the plan. Maybe they like, sprinkle some nutty ones in there along with the true ones, so you just never know. Is my
Yes.
new conspiracy theory.
Those slippery bastards.
They're clever. Apologies
I
if you
hope
hear
that
the
was your
crunching in the
dog.
background.
Yeah, I hope that's your dog. You just got developed a new tick.
She's pawing at me.
Aww. My dog's asleep. He's like, he saw me setting this up and he's like, what are you doing? This is not the time of night for you to be doing that thing.
I don't
You're
usually
supposed to be
shut
like this.
I don't usually shut my office door in the morning, so they were both on the other side of the door watching it close with like the saddest faces. So now that I opened it, because my husband he left for a couple of days. So now that the door is open, they're both standing in here eyeballing me to give them treats. So apologies for any crunching. They own me. I have to do it.
They are
I've got
basically
some-
your children.
Yeah.
They are. I've got some little kids that come over, and a couple of times when they've come over, we've taken the dog out for a walk, and now every time they come over, the dog is like, are we doing it? Are we doing it? Is it happening? Are we doing it? And it's like, ooh, it's pissing down rain. It's not happening today, my friend. You know, poor thing.
Oh, what
They're
breed have
very,
you
but it
got?
doesn't.
What breed's your dog? No.
Who are you asking?
Odette.
What we saying?
What breed is your dog?
Oh, God knows. He was supposed to be an English Staffy,
Yeah.
and then he started growing much larger than an English Staffy.
Oh, wow.
And I don't. He's dog shaped and brown.
We did a DNA test on Zool
Oh yeah.
because I told us she was a Rottweiler lab mix, but when we brought her home, her personality was not Rottweiler. She was not chill at all, and she didn't grow. So we did we had to swab her cheeks, did a DNA test, send it off. They cloned her if I'm lucky, but no. Yeah. We found out she's a chocolate lab rat terrier, which makes a lot of sense because terriers are very neurotic dogs.
Did a DNA test.
That's a good idea.
100% that bitch. I think I think he was supposed to be in the end like a quarter English staffy and like 3/4 American staffy, which is that pit bull? I don't know.
Yeah, I
But
have no idea. Yeah.
he's very cute and like the biggest wuss in the world. Like
Yeah.
is scared of literally everything. A piece of paper
Yeah.
flapping. You know, he's
These
very
pit bulls
wussy.
have such a bad reputation. They have
For no reason. It's
they're-
humans.
They're banned. It is. It's because they look tough. The type of people who were attracted to them typically bred them to do some shady shit. But they're banned in Ontario. Like
What?
they've been banned for it's a long time. So when they first did it, you could grandfather your pit bull, but there have not been pit bulls in Ontario in forever.
That's ridiculous.
And then I think for a while, Rottweilers were banned in Quebec. But the Ontario ban is ridiculous because it's not only like pit bulls, it's dogs that look like pit bulls that they've tried to ban.
That
That's
pisses me off.
racist. That
Yeah,
is
it's-
racist.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And like they're the sweetest dogs.
Yeah. It's the same mechanism as racism, actually. Think of it from a psychological perspective. It's like you're judging a whole, like, just creature based on the way it looks. And like things like staffies and pit bulls have the most adorable, loving personalities, like every other dog. And like any staffy I've ever met have just been the most lovely bundle of energy if they have the right owners. And there's no
They're just little like lap dogs that are
Yeah.
too big for
And they
laps.
smile so
Yeah.
much. They're so cute.
yeah.
I
they're
know,
so
my girlfriend
playful.
has pit bulls and like she can't even work during the day because they climb up on her chair to like get as close to her as possible. So she's working with like covered in dog.
Oh, brilliant. And in the meantime, I'm a cat owner with 5 cats currently that just stare at me like, I owe them something.
You
There's
do.
a
That's
power
what Zula
imbalance.
That's
Yeah.
what Zula comes in here to get treats.
Yeah.
She's cute while I'm feeding her, and then she fucks off and does her own thing.
That's how they roll.
I respect that though.
Yeah.
I would do the same if I could.
That would be brilliant. That's the ideal sort of lifestyle, isn't it? Just disdain at everyone and people
Ugh.
feed you.
I think
And
I'm
like
just go.
she growls at everyone. People who in our neighborhood who don't know her name call her the growler, and like I would love that because I think I've assumed anyway that I have the kind of face that people think like, oh, I should talk to her. So like random people talk to me all the time. Where if I could just growl, that would be a delight.
You probably could try biting someone.
I think that's assault. I think growling is probably just creepy, where teeth gnashing is assault.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where I'm going wrong then. Ugh.
First
Yeah, I
it's the
can't
sexual assault. Now it's the actual assault. What
Yeah.
else are you doing?
Yeah. It's just being British, we don't know how to conduct ourselves.
I thought you were a posh people.
No. No, that is a very small subsection of English society. Most of us are shocking. I mean, this is hilarious for the absurdity of it, but the funniest racist that I ever met in my entire fucking life was this bloke who refused to eat anything that wasn't English food, like English food. So it couldn't be Welsh, Scottish, Irish. It had to be English. And I was like, don't you fucking eat anything then?
I'm sorry. What do you eat? Moss? If you eat
Basic.
potatoes, they're from South America.
Exactly. He would eat chips. He'd have fish and chips.
Sorry. Fit cod. You can have cod and moss.
What a strange.
Blackberries. That's it.
He wouldn't even have tomato ketchup.
I will only eat foreign food that came here before this particular date.
Yes.
What did he think he was doing with that though? Like, was it some sort of statement he was making, or was he just?
I tended to avoid him.
Yeah,
He
it's
was so
probably
bad.
best. I mean, you wouldn't want to go out for a meal with him. Where would you eat?
And then there was another racist bloke who used to be in the United States Air Force. And so I used to work in this workshop as a mechanical engineer. We were like building up, so we had contractors coming in to do stuff in the workshop. And he like I was asking him to help me with something, and his go-to comment he thought was really funny was he said, "Do I look black? Am I your N-word?" And like he would actually say it, the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah, just because I asked him for a hand or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's gross.
Yeah. I mean, this even like it was really recent. I mean, we're talking what, about 18, 20 years ago. So
Oh, he's probably still saying that to people to this day.
exactly. Yeah.
There was a comedian, Janine Garofalo, once, and she said that she wished people's walk was indicative of their intent. So that if you saw someone like walking behind you like this, you're like, oh, I should hold on to my purse. And like, it should kind of be the same with like attitudes and stuff. Like there should be a walk or like a vibe that people give off that when you see them, you're like, nah, I'm going to stay away from that person. That's just, you can save yourself a lot of time and trouble.
I'm oblivious to all signals from anyone and have just had so many weird conversations because I am too polite, and my husband can spot them a mile away and has occasionally left me standing with people that I've had very long, strange conversations with because I'm too polite to sort of go.
He's left you there?
Okay, we were at the library, right? And this woman came up to me and my husband disappeared. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. Right. Okay. And she said, and then she had a piece of paper in her hand and she was trying to get in how to use the computer card catalog. What am I? I'm sorry. The computer catalog of all the books and stuff. Yeah, like you used to do that, but now you have to do that, right? And she'd written down some numbers, but she had written down like it was a list of them, and she'd written down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 instead of like what shelf they were on. And I'm trying to explain this to her because I'm so polite. And then she goes, "They're sex books." And I went, "Pardon?"
Oh, I know where that section is. Follow me.
She's like, "They're all sex books."
Why didn't you say that to start with?
I know. So now this was like 30 years ago, and my husband will occasionally just say to me, "Sex books." And
I can't believe he just left you there. Like, just save yourself. I'm out.
yes, yeah.
He wants to learn how to grab your hand and take you with him.
She looks like a sex book fanatic. Run away. It is kind of funny when people do just kind of approach you in the street and just decide that I'm good. Like, I don't understand at what point they decide I'm going to talk to that person. They've got like a kind face or they look approachable. I'm going to go.
Maybe they just kind of blanket it, right? They just try a bunch of people and see who, like fishing. You just put it out there and see who responds.
I talk to people though, like that I don't know. I mean, here I am saying this. I don't talk to people about sex books, but I do talk to random people on the street or just in the supermarket because why not talk to people?
Well, I mean that's I think it's the way that it happens. It's kind of just that like they want to come to you with a certain thing, and then they have it in their mind. It's not related to the context. And it's just completely out of the blue, and he's come up to you, you know, and they're like, "I like dogs." And
you've obviously never been to a dog park though, because like going to a dog park, you develop these like deep conversations with people whose name you don't even know.
But that's
like there are people I see at the dog park who would tell me they're like marital issues, they're like financial issues, and like I would refer to them as like, oh, that's Cooper's mom, right? Like I didn't even know their name, but you know the dog they are attached to and their entire life story, because what the fuck else are you gonna do at a dog park? There's only so often you can say like, oh, they're so cute.
Can we just improvise some of the things that you may have heard from these people that would like, you know, and the placenta got stuck halfway out, like just a snip of what you may have heard from these people. I don't know. My
lots of
brother-in-law's
racist
in
stuff.
Jail for life. For life.
Sadly, nothing that juicy. There was a lot of like abandonment. Like, oh, my kid's dad did this, and then this happened, and then how I lost my toenails was a story that I heard once. So this woman, not my toenails. This woman didn't have toenails, and that was not a fantastic story. Not a great tale. So yeah, lots of
My husband has no toenails.
really?
Is that true?
Just
What are
his
the
big
odds?
toes. Just his big toes.
How
The
does
rest
that
of
Hers
look?
too.
He had to get
Those are
them
the two she was
removed.
missing.
Was it congenital, or did she get them removed?
She had them removed.
Same with my husband.
What?
It's very painful. I shouldn't be talking about this. What if he hears this and he's like, why are you telling my private business? But he wears thongs. He wears thongs. Everyone can see.
He's putting it out there. He's putting it out there. She did too. And then she would get pedicures. So she would just like put toenail polish on the skin. So it had like the illusion of toes.
Did you get a discount on her pedicures? Because that's a big bit of real estate, the big toe.
It really is. That's the biggest toe. Yeah. But she did, well, no, because she still paint the toe. I hope she doesn't see this. She would paint the toe. Like that's the first time I saw it, because I don't want to like stare. I was like, that's a wonky looking toenail. And then I learned.
Just don't put posters up at the dog park advertising the podcast, and you'll be fine. She won't. Yeah.
We haven't been in a while because Zool is now persona non grata at the dog park. She just
Does she growl at people?
This dog, so there were these two dogs that would always play together, and occasionally they would try to steal Zool's ball. So then when one of them tried to steal Zool's ball, she went to get the ball back. One of the dogs went after Zool. So then she went after that dog, and then the other dog stepped in, and then they kind of like they were in cahoots afterwards. We would get to the park, and like one of them would get into Zool's face and then back off. Meanwhile, the other one would come in from behind and try to like pick a fight with Zool. It got to the point where when we pulled into the parking lot, if Zool saw them in the park, she was like already trying to get at them. Like she'd be between the seats, like. So we just stopped going to the park. She just started to like get mad at everybody. She's got an attitude problem.
It kind of sounds like though that it's their fault and they started on her, and they should just give her a break.
Well, they started, but she will finish it. Yeah. And then she will never forget. So after a few dogs pissed her off, it was like, maybe we should just play in the backyard.
With World Cup here, we've had a bit more recent immigration. So we've got a lot of Greek immigrants from like post-war immigration. A lot of European, because we had a lot of infrastructure projects, and Australia was like so racist. They're like, we'll get the whitest immigrants we can.
Oh my God.
So yeah. So, because we still had the White Australia policy at that time, which basically, did you know about the White Australia policy? It's horrible. It's basically like they would prefer white people to move here, and then if people who were not white came here, they had to pass a language test to get in, except they wouldn't necessarily give them English, they would give them Swahili or anything, so that they would fail. And it's like, sorry, not white people, off you go.
Wow.
Australia's,
Have you heard what we I think rather depressing competitor for your Australian policy, I don't know if you've heard about it, is that Priti Patel wants to send all of our asylum seekers and refugees to Rwanda for processing. So they make it to England, and then they get deported straight away to Rwanda for literal concentration camps, and then they have to stay there for years while they get processed. And yeah.
Can you imagine though, if the right kind of immigration actually happened, and everyone from every Commonwealth country, every white person from every Commonwealth country, including America, went, let's go home.
Yeah, we'd be fucked.
Everyone left. You would be.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Like basically Britain would be bursting. France would just be an absolute mess. Portugal would be just not there anymore.
You'd have to deport people to foreign countries, wouldn't you?
Yeah. The people making the decisions are mostly children of immigrants at the moment. And it's because they're the elite class, and all they're trying to do is get votes from little Englanders that all voted for Brexit. That's basically their strategy.
Well, look, this backfired a lot in our election. The Liberal government tried to make the election about divisiveness and, all this sort of, the culture wars. and the electorate just went, fuck off. And,
Yeah. Yeah, and they lost.
you know, put in all
Yes.
these people, these climate believing people that are sensible.
Yeah.
And and the two worst parties, the Pauline Hanson party and the Clive Palmer party. Clive Palmer is like this billionaire in Australia who spent $100 million in election campaigning this year, got nothing, not a seat, not a thing. I don't even think that most of his candidates got 4% of the vote in order to get their
Wow.
$1,000 deposit back.
That's
Which
hilarious.
is brilliant. Yeah.
That is amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, they got nothing. And it's like they were trying to make Australia do get involved in these culture wars and make it a real big thing, like Rupert Murdoch's trying to do all over his channels here too. And Australia just went, no, thank you. No, thanks. We want some climate action now. Thank you.
Yeah.
And transgender people are people, so stop being such dicks.
Yeah. We just want people to exist and be themselves.
Yeah.
Can't we all just get along? Be happy.
Yeah.
Like,